You know, when you're in an auto workshop, what really separates a long, successful career from a really dangerous mistake? A lot of the time, it comes down to what you do before you even pick up a single tool. It's not just about skill, it's about having a professional code. So today, we're going to break down the 5 fundamental rules you absolutely have to live by.
All right, let's kick things off with a big question. Picture this. You see a veteran tech working next to a total rookie. What's the real difference between them? Is it just, how many years they've been doing the job? Or is there something deeper, something more fundamental going on? Well, it really just boils down to one word: discipline. See, a true pro doesn't just know how to do the job. They build everything they do on this solid foundation of safety, preparation, and a really methodical approach. It's a mindset that you've got to lock in way before you ever even touch a vehicle. And that leads us straight into our first rule. Rule number 1, know your tools. And I mean, this goes way beyond just being able to point at a wrench. It means you know its exact name, its specific function, and, this is the crucial part, its limitations. If you can get this right, you've basically built the bedrock for everything else. I mean, a pro's knowledge of their toolkit has to be vast. You've got to be able to confidently identify and describe everything you see here. We're talking basic hand tools like spanners and sockets, heavy-duty power tools like bench grinders, and all the way to the air tools that, let's be honest, make life a whole lot easier. And here's the kicker. This also means knowing which sizing system you're even looking at. Okay, this right here, this is a classic rookie mistake. You absolutely have to know the difference between imperial, which is all about fractions of an inch, and metric, which is based on millimeters. And no, they are not interchangeable. Trying to force, say, a 13mm socket onto a half-inch bolt, that is a surefire way to round that fastener and turn a super simple job into a total nightmare. This quote really just nails why this knowledge is so non-negotiable. I mean, think about it for a second. Every single practical assessment you're going to face is built on this foundation. If an assessor asks you for a specific tool and you can't even name it or explain what it's for, I mean, how are they supposed to trust you to use it safely and effectively, right? All right, so you know your tools. Great. What's next? Well, that brings us to rule 2. Always check for serviceability. Or, to put it simply, check your tools every single time. And listen, this is not a suggestion. It is a non-negotiable habit that you need to burn into your brain. So, what exactly is a serviceability check? It's just a quick but absolutely critical inspection you do before that tool ever touches the vehicle. You're basically hunting for cracks, any excessive wear, or any other visible damage. If it's a power tool, you're making sure the safety guards are there and they actually work. And for precision tools, like a torque wrench, you're double-checking that its calibration is still good. And the stakes here? They're about as high as they get. Seriously, just look at that quote. Imagine sliding under a car that's being held up by a jack stand with a tiny hairline crack you didn't bother to look for. The 2 seconds you saved by skipping that check, that could literally cost you everything. And you can bet your bottom dollar that assessors are watching for this exact habit. Speaking of high stakes, that leads us perfectly into rule number 3, master lifting equipment. Look, these tools are in a category all by themselves. And why is that? Because when they fail, the consequences aren't just bad, they're catastrophic. So yeah, they have their own, much stricter set of rules. You need to memorize this procedure. Seriously, this isn't just a list of helpful suggestions. This is a life-saving protocol. First up, always use the vehicle's specified jacking points. No guessing games. Second, you have to check that the jack's capacity is rated for more than the vehicle's weight. Third, make sure you are on level, stable ground. And finally, and this is the most critical part, get those jack stands securely in position before you even think about starting the work. Let's just be blunt here. There is zero room for error with this stuff. As it says right there, failures with lifting and supporting equipment are one of the most serious causes of death in automotive workplaces. That is not an exaggeration. That's exactly why it's assessed as its own separate critical category. You just have to get this right, every single time. Okay, so this brings us to Rule 4, which is all about what happens when your serviceability check actually finds a problem. The rule is simple: deal with faulty tools. And the really crucial takeaway here is you don't just quietly put it back in the drawer. You can't leave a trap for the next person. Now, this is going to require a quick judgment call on your part. Is it a minor issue, something that just needs a quick clean or a simple adjustment, or is it something more serious, like a crack, a frayed cord, or just way too much wear and tear? If it's anything that compromises its safety or function, it has to be tagged out of service and removed from the workshop floor immediately.
And this isn't just, good practice. It's a core workplace health and safety obligation. Think of the tagging system as the workshop's immune system. When you find a faulty tool and you just put it back on the shelf, you're deliberately shutting down that immune system. You're leaving everyone else completely vulnerable.
And that brings us to our final rule. Number 5, finish like a pro. A real professional gets something that amateurs often miss. The job isn't over when the car rolls out the door. The job is only over when the workshop is clean, organized, and totally ready for the next job.
And this is a really clear process. Every single tool gets cleaned, each one gets another quick serviceability check as you're putting it away, you apply lubricants where they're needed, and every single item goes back to its designated spot. A precision tool like a torque wrench, it doesn't get tossed in a drawer, it goes back into its protective case to keep its calibration safe.
And let's be crystal clear about this. This final step isn't just about being tidy. It's about making sure every tool is safe, accurate, and ready to go for the next person who needs it. It's a huge sign of respect for the equipment and for your colleagues. Ultimately, this one habit really defines the professional standard of the entire workshop.
So there you have it. Know your tools, check them every single time, master your lifting gear, deal with any faults you find, and finish like a pro. Look, this isn't just some checklist to help you pass an assessment. These are the core habits that are going to build the foundation for a long, safe, and respected career in this industry. So I'm going to leave you with a question to really think about as you start your journey. Is following these rules just another box you have to tick on a list? Or is it a reflection of your personal commitment to excellence? Is it your professional signature on every single job you do?